Good day everyone, I'm John Riwal de Cortina from Section Apostle James. Today I'm gonna report and discuss my assigned topic, which is Lesson 20, Historical Research. In Unit 1, we learn about how the work of a historian relies heavily on sources, while historiography is preoccupied with writing of history. The claims, arguments, and assertions of historians cannot just be created of thin air. They must be evidence to prove that their interpretation is sound and accurate. This practice is true not only for history, but also for other fields, be it natural, science, social sciences, the humanities, or the engineering. There is always an attention to evidence-based assertions, which forms the foundation of any inquiry. Libraries. Libraries collect and provide access to published materials in order to keep people informed, promote scholarship, and provide entertainment. The library is traditionally the first place a student goes to whenever they need to do research, which makes sense. It is a place where books, articles, newspapers, theses, and dissertations, multimedia collections, and kinds of potential sources are stored. Aside from its holdings, libraries are also staffed by professional librarians who would be more than willing to help students locate particular sources for any kind of study. Libraries are also places for quiet study and concentration, practically a one-stop shop for everything a student will need academically and more. University libraries tend to vary in terms of what it collects and holds, so visiting libraries outside your own might be helpful. The key to unlocking the potential materials is a library has for your research is by going through its catalog. Nowadays, libraries have forgone the tedious and antiquated card cataloging system and have been using the digital version to catalog their holdings, called the Online Public Access Catalog or OPAC. Sometimes simply the library catalog in this system instead of going through each entry on physical index cards. A simple search will yield the holdings of the library related to your topic. Searching by subject will give you a list of sources, primary and secondary, to aid in creating a preliminary bibliography that you may later on access physically in the holding of the library. The catalog list down all kinds of materials is available based on the subject used in the search. This could be books, journals, maps, and other articles that fit your inquiry. Do not limit yourself to using books and other published materials, as when you may be able to utilize other forms of sources. Some that are too old to be handled physically may also be available in digital form or microfilm. Archives. Archives collect and provide access to unpublished materials in order to ensure government accountability and to preserve institutional and cultural memory. Research in archives may be a lot more complicated and too advanced, but will provide you with many sources that are not available in the usual libraries. The National Archives of the Philippines, also in Manila, is an agency of the government that is mandated to collect, store, preserve, and make available records of the government and other primary sources about the history and development of the Philippines. Most of the materials is here, especially for the years of Spanish colonialism, are in their original language and may not be accessible to college students, professional history researchers, spent years of studying the Spanish language and paleography to gain useful knowledge out of archival materials. However, other materials may be helpful and it would not hurt to ask assistance from the staff in the archives. The internet, it has increasingly become the primary means by which anyone would find any information that they need. With a single click, you can access tons and tons of available data, so much that it would be easy to get lost and all the data available. Cyberspace is an excellent resource for research if you know how to do it properly and is supplemented with other methods of gathering sources. Another online archive you may use is the Internet Archive, an online library that sought to archive web history but grew later on to provide digital versions of other works. The archives contains 279 billion web pages, 11 million books and texts, 4 million audio recordings, 3 million videos, 1 million images, and 100,000 software programs. Avoiding plagiarism. Merriam-Webster dictionary defines to plagiarize as to steal and pass off the ideas or words of another as one's own as another productions without crediting the source. Note that to steal here means both intentional and unintentional use of words that are not yours. Plagiarism is an ethical issue as it is a form of theft. Plagiarism is to avoid. Just remember to cite your source always. Lesson summary. Doing historical research requires the use of legitimate, authentic, and reliable resources which could be accessed in variety ways. Libraries and archives are essential places where students could access many services related to their research. Finding the right resources in these places require familiarization with the cataloging system in that these libraries and archives use. The internet is a treasure trove of sources for Philippine history. We must always be careful whenever we find sources online because it is easy to get lost, distracted, or find unreliable materials. It is best to access legitimate websites to ensure the authenticity of the documents we use for our research. Plagiarism and copying, pasting, or stealing. Always remember to cite your sources when doing research.